Hey guys, oh, what was that? Okay, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to do a reacting to Reddit post video because I'm feeling kind of like giving some advice or inspiration. I don't know. We're just going to be talking about Reddit posts and relationships, and I took a look at I'm trying to say here. I took a little look at some of the posts. Yes, what is going on? Don't drink any bang before you film a video. Just saying. Okay, so I took a little look at some of the posts, and they are some good questions. If you're interested in a video like that, please keep watching. I am super excited to get into these posts because I just looked at one question. I haven't looked at any other, but I looked at one question I thought was interesting that I think that affects a lot of people in relationships. A lot, especially when it comes to social media. So I wanted to get into this topic because it's quite interesting, and I know that a lot of people are going to have a lot of things to say about it. So let's get into the posts. Okay, the first question. My husband keeps talking to girls from past relationships. Okay, so I think that a lot of people deal with this in their relationships now. This is an interesting one because with the rise of social media, it's so easy to stay in touch with people from your past, which honestly, the word past means to me that they should be in the past. But, okay, to some people, the past means current. Okay, so in my opinion, your past girlfriend should stay in the past. They don't need to be in your current relationship. Period. End of story. But that's just me. Now, at the same time, it really depends on the complexity of that relationship as well. Now, if in fact you were boyfriend and girlfriend in high school, perhaps you can still maintain a friendship there. Who knows? Now, personally, I don't know. But if it was something like that, perhaps that's not going to be such a big deal. Now, if you were married to that person or engaged, or you were in a long-term relationship and you still want to maintain a relationship with that person, even though that romantic relationship is over, I wouldn't be okay with that. Personally, just on the surface. Now, obviously, we're talking generally about this. Like, I think the word is generalizing, whatever. But you can't, like, everything is different. Every relationship is different, and every past relationship is different, obviously. But personally, if I was in a relationship with someone and he wanted to maintain a friendship with a past girlfriend that he had a long-term committed relationship with, I personally would not be okay with it. I've seen it many times where it was just, we were just, talking as friends, and then, the line was crossed and it became inappropriate conversations. Now, with that being said, and I spoke about this earlier about social media making it easier for people to maintain relationships with people from the past, even though they should stay in the past. Talking via text message, talking via DM on Instagram or Facebook Messenger or whatever, it is so easy. Now, I'm keep it real. It is so easy to catch feelings, one, and to cross the line. It is. Like, keeping it real. I know from experience, it is easy to cross the line when you send a message via electronic device. Okay, that's my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that platonic relationships can't be had with people from the past, but it's been my experience and what I've seen with many, many people is that it typically crosses a line, and then it gets into, they just want to confide with another person, so they confide with that person for some reason. They confide in that person because they're having issues in their current relationship, and then that person gives them validation, makes them feel good, and then feelings are caught once again. Even though they said that there is no feelings, they're just friends, typically lines are crossed. And I think it's just important to be respectful of the other person and to hold that relationship to a certain standard. Now, I don't know what that standard is, but to a certain standard, to a certain degree, where there are lines that just should not be crossed. And when you are having a relationship via Messenger, via DM, I've seen it countless times where it's easy to cross that line. So I had a piece of advice from a long ago pastor, a long time ago, and he told me, just don't put yourself in situations where you can be tempted. That's just easier, right? I think it's important because emotions are very delicate. They are very up and down, side to side, I don't know. But, sometimes you just can't help it. Especially when you're feeling, especially if you're seeking validation, that's where it gets dangerous. So for me personally, my advice is that past relationships, girlfriends, boyfriends, should be left in the past. But I know, especially nowadays, people are like, we're just friends over Facebook or whatever, and we just chit chat or whatever. I know personally that can be crossed as well. So I would suggest that is just left in the past. But to each his own. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts? Are you maintaining relationships with past girlfriends, boyfriends? Would you allow your significant other to do so? I would love to know. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, so next post is an interesting one. Perhaps a sensitive one. I am no longer in love with my wife. Should I tell her or continue as we are for the kids' sake? That is a tough one. Now, I want to go a little deeper into this because love looks different to different people, and it looks different in different people. Does that make sense? I think that sometimes people look at love as a sexual attraction, and so when they're not sexually attracted to their spouse, they feel like they're not in love with that person, or they're just not getting the butterflies. After being together for a long time, they're not getting those butterflies anymore, which I feel like can be obtained by keeping it spicy, doing other things, I don't know, spontaneity. So I'm interested to see. So it looks like in this post, as I read, it is more about sexual attraction for this guy. And I mean, I don't want to get into that topic, but it seems like they were each other's first, and he said that she's pretty conservative, and so that's typical. That can be typical for the male species. Let's be honest. I think I'm saying a lot. I think that, first of all, I want to say this. I think that it's important to have open communication when you're in a relationship. That is number one. That is key. Even if you have to have hard conversations that you feel that are going to be uncomfortable, first have those conversations before making such a drastic decision of saying, I'm not in love with this person. Should I just whatever? Did you even have conversations with the other person? Because a lot of times when you can have open communication about certain things, those things can be solved and worked on together. Now, if in fact you did have conversation with your spouse about that thing, whatever it is that is bothering you, that's making you feel like, I'm not sure if I'm in love with this person, and they are not receptive of what you're communicating, then at that point you have a decision to make. I see a lot of times in relationships where people are like, especially when it comes to cheating, they'll say stuff like, well, what did she expect? I'm like, well, did you have conversations with her? No. But what would she expect? First of all, she probably would have expected you to have a conversation with her about your concerns. Now, at that point, if she's not receptive of what you need or what you want or what you see that your relationship should be in your eyes, then at that point you have a decision to make. But not having conversations is typically what breaks up marriages and relationships, because people are not open about what it is they want, need, feel, all of these things. There's nothing wrong with wanting a certain relationship. There's nothing wrong with that. People are like, well, you should just whatever. No, there's nothing wrong with having a certain relationship. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. And that is fine. Now, now that you have kids involved, sometimes if it's toxic, if you're having fights and, arguing and, kids can pick up on, those things. They pick up on those things. Trust me. They can feel tension in a household. Now, then at that point you have a decision to make. Are you benefiting the children at that point, or are you doing them more of a disservice? So it's all about your perspective. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you. But my advice would be always, 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 at any point when you feel any kind of way, you should have open communication with that other person. Give them the opportunity and the respect them enough to communicate with them. I think it's important. So that would be my advice. That one's a tough one. I would love to know your thoughts on that. Should he stay for the sake of the kids, even though he feels like he's no longer in love with his wife? Is that something that you feel like they could work through, or is that a deal breaker in which he probably needs to leave the marriage? I would love to know your thoughts. So I think I'm going to leave it at that, because those are two interesting questions. I would love to know your thoughts on those questions. At the end of the day, I think it's important to honor people's experiences in life and their perspectives on life as well. And so I think it's important not to judge and be judgmental of other people and what the decisions they make, but to be respectful and honor their experience and honor the fact that they have lived a certain way that makes them think a certain way. And that is totally fine and should be valued. Excuse me. So that's all for this video. If you found value in this video, please Bang! Do not drink Bang before doing a video, okay? Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. I like to do videos on life, relationships, business, beauty. I think our next video will be on some business stuff because I have some projects coming up that I would love to share with you guys. So I want to share that with you as well. So if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I will check you in the next video. Peace.